What's up everybody, I'm MrGlasco and this is MrGlasco TV, and today I wanted to show you guys some automation that I've been working on for my stream, primarily using AutoHotkey, which is free open source software made by Chris Mallet and some other programmers. One of the contributing programmers, Geek Dude, made Chrome AHK, which I use a lot for talking directly to Google Chrome to automate things on websites. For automation in general, I highly recommend looking into AutoHotkey, and I feel like I've just only scratched the surface of its true potential. Openness to learning how the code works is necessary to be able to tweak things, but once you do, it's a really powerful tool. One of the reasons why I dove into automation is because I restream, and what restreaming does is adds a lot of production overhead when it comes to managing all the different platforms that you're on. It's kind of like also a gateway into trying to do multiple social media sites and do multiple kind of everything. And I kind of like the challenge of trying to figure it all out, and automation is going to be a pretty big game changer for me as far as the amount of time it takes to handle all of it. If anybody else might be interested in restreaming, this could be helpful information for them. And with Mixer going down, the streaming community is in flux right now where people are trying to figure out what they're trying to do next. Maybe they can consider restreaming, or this might give some insight into what you could do to improve your production. So without further ado, and one thing that I also am doing with AutoHotkey is using Amazon's digital assistant, which I will censor from here on out, to talk to if this then that, which then sends a document to my Dropbox where I have AutoHotkey listening to then trigger more scripts to run. The main automation I'm focusing on here is the streaming automation. I'll trigger my streaming automation. So first thing I ask myself is this a pre-gaming stream? What pre-gaming is a fitness routine that I try to do before my main streams, or I'm trying to promote a healthy lifestyle, healthy gaming community. For this example, I'm going to hit no. And then what happens now in the script is it's going to open two text files and a website. And the two text files, one's called short post and one's called blog post. The short post is for social media basically, and then the blog post or long post is for my blog, and it will be shared with my live link whenever I go live. I can use automation to say, Alexa, trigger PC dictation. This is a test post for some automation that I've been working on. So here I have my short post. In the background, the website that loaded here is text-to-speech on the Google Cloud services, and this is what I would use to basically do my proofreading. So now I can continue by hitting that text box. Those files get saved later to be referenced further into the automation. So now it's dashboard time. The first dashboard we're going to come to is Mob Crush, because why not? And so it logged me on there automatically. It didn't require any authentication, but Steam does. And Steam allows you to stream on their platform if you have a Stream ID. The game that I have in the pipeline for this example isn't actually on Steam. It's Death Stranding. Even if there is a game on here that has an app ID that's released, there's no guarantee that you can actually stream it, because the developers allow basically someone who can stream it. Now, I'm not even entirely sure where it gets streamed. I know for a fact it gets streamed to your Steam page. I don't think you can end up on like the front page of Steam. I don't think you can end up on their store page, but I know you can stream onto your Steam page in general. So what happens is this RTMP address changes sometimes. So one part of the automation grabs this, and then right now it's saying if I have an app ID to run automation. And for this example, I'll pretend like I do. In the Stream Deck, you can see the games folder here at the bottom. I'll click that and then go to Death Stranding. And there's a lot of other stuff there for me to be able to just paste things. But the main one we want to focus on here is this automation button. That is the 600 plus line script where it recognizes what website I'm on and then tries to put the appropriate information or pull the appropriate information from it. When I push it, it's going to put just app ID. So this isn't going to be recognized. It's going to save now and go to the next dashboard, which is Mixer. Rest in peace. I'm gonna log into here, and it's already ready for automation. So then I hit the automation button, and I'll type in the stream title and the game, and then audience. And then one thing you can tell the script to do also is to click those text boxes. So the text boxes stop everything, so then I can do something manually. But then the manual script that I'm running closes those text boxes. So the next dashboard was supposed to be Google, but Google recognizes that you have your developer ports open. From what I can guess, they don't want to be held liable for that potential security risk if you log onto their services with the developer ports open. I try anyways. I ask myself if I'm able to do it. Let's say no. It closes that tab. It opens up another instance of Chrome now with the ports closed, and then now it's entering in. But you can see it's able to recognize keystrokes still, but AutoHotkey just can't read the page directly. And one way you can still navigate pages this way is by just using tab or shift tab. But with YouTube in general, they like to use this space up here to put notifications, and links are in those notifications. So if you're using tab, you're gonna run into, it's gonna mess up your count of how many times you want AutoHotkey to press tab to get through all these things. So I'm gonna tell this pop-up that yes, I was able to log in here, and now it's saying, okay, manually navigate to the title and then hit the automation button. I'm just giving myself a pop-up reminder to say, hey, navigate to this thing and then hit automation. It's gonna type in the automation. It's gonna type in the basic first part of the description. It's gonna put in the game. I'm gonna wait a couple seconds here for the autosave on this page to fire, and then it's gonna go to advanced settings. Now another pop-up comes up and it says basically do any auditing here, some of these settings, make sure the game token, the category is correct, and chat's on, and then go to the tags. One thing also I need to do manually is go in here and erase any old text from previous stream. So now you can see this is where the long post has loaded. And then after I finish editing this and make sure everything's okay, navigate to the tags, hit OK, and it's going to delete all those tags and then input all new tags that's relevant to the current game that I have, that I've automated. So next dashboard is Twitch. It's already ready for automations. Once it's finished loading, push it, it opens up notifications to get rid of the little parentheses. You have this many notifications at the top title, because if there's something up there, sometimes it can mess with the automation part of reading what page it's on. There you can see it went through, did all that, and then go into Twitter. Now Twitter is basically being used here to log into Periscope because Twitter owns Periscope. The reason why I like streaming on Periscope is because it plays natively onto Twitter. Now it's logging into Facebook. I've authenticated, so it's going to close this page. It's going to refresh the dashboard. Now it's going to log into restream.io. And then now, because I said that I had an app ID for Steam, it's going to go over here and paste the Steam address that I copied, and then it's going to move on to titles. But if I said that I didn't have an app ID, then it would untick Steam from that dashboard. And these are the tools that Restream.io has, and I can hit the automation button here, which the pop-up is telling me, which will edit the Facebook title, the game, and the description. And this wasn't always there, and so I'm hopeful that these will get more fleshed out. Right now it's saying do any final auditing and manual editing, and here we can see what Restream.io lets you do. So for Twitch, you can edit the title in the game. For Mixer, you can edit the title in the game. For YouTube, you saw everything I was editing. You can only actually edit the title, the category, and the description. So you can't even edit the game yet here, which I think is very important, which is why I do it the way I do, where I go into the dashboard manually. So everything looks good here. Hit OK. It's going to take me to the social media post here, and it's going to post that short post that we made earlier. Now we're going to go over to Streamlabs, and because I'm logged into Twitch, I can just have that automation push that and log us in there. And just when you thought we were done, that was just the dashboard half of the process. Now it's the social media side. So the next thing that I need to log into is Instagram. You might be thinking, Instagram, that's interesting to log on the dashboard. I don't even think you can upload anything if you log on the desktop, and I think you're correct. But one thing I've heard is if you are actively using Instagram recognizes you as a more valuable user. So then you have the potential to be put higher in priority when you do post something. And I have a post that I usually post when I do go live. So I just have it down here in the corner running the stories while I finish up my automation process. So just in case I have anything else I want to say on Twitter, I have this pop up. I don't. I'll just go to the next tab, which is Facebook. Anything else I want to say here, I don't. So then it goes over to Derby, which is my main source for my pre-gaming material. And it asked me again, is this a pre-gaming stream? And the reason why it asked me again here is because I compartmentalized logging onto my dashboards and then this bulk of managing my social media. So in theory, I could be trying to log into my social media independent of going live and streaming. I'll say this is not a pre-gaming stream. I'll close the tab. It'll log me into Reddit and ask me if I want to make any posts here. I'll say no. It's going to close that tab. Now it's going to take me into my blog. It's going to ask me if I have a blog post. Every stream that I do, I think of it like journaling each stream. So I say, yes, I'm doing a blog post, and it says, okay, run the automation for it. I hit the automation button. Do I have an image ready? Say yes. And here it takes it to my media to upload it. And we'll just use this as an example. I'll select okay. It'll upload it, and then after it uploads it, it's gonna click on it to grab its link from down here. It's gonna copy this link and save it into a file so that it can be used on other social media sites and be used on the blog post to reference as the feature image for it. So it's gonna ask me if I'm streaming. I say yes, and then now it's gonna work on the blog post. And here I don't have to worry about this pop-up because of the way Chrome AHK can talk to the browser directly, and so it's doing things behind the pop-up, which then eliminates the pop-up. It loads the picture, it changes the tag, which I make my game, it changes the category, which I make it Let's Play, then it goes down to the breadcrumb, and it goes over to the meta description, edits the title, then it starts constructing the post. It inserts the long post there, it copies and pastes things because AutoHotkey can't do some special characters, so I have to manually tell AutoHotkey then to open up a text file, copy everything in the text file, and then paste it here. So now it says it's finished editing, so then I hit OK, and then we go on to Pinterest. I'll run it, put in the same title, and that's the one thing, everything's very consistent. Same title everywhere else, same links. For my live stream link, I mainly promote my Twitch, and then my website goes after that. And then for the Steam website, I usually make a comment if it's a Steam game, and for this example, we're pretending that it is. Otherwise, this would have already recognized that it's not a Steam game, and it would have skipped these tabs. But for the sake of this example, I will. I'll put in the same title. My website's there, the long post would be there, and then the live link. I have a Steam group that I post the title, the long post, the live link, and then we're off to Discord. And you can see how much time this is saving. Even though I'm stopping and explaining this as I do it, you can imagine what this would be like trying to do manually by hand and automating. Some websites are more resistant to automation, even with Chrome AHK. So in this case, I have to click this manually. And then another website that I like to use, expanding my digital footprint, is player.me. It's a gaming and streaming kind of social network. Then going over to Patreon. I say, okay, automate. I post that link that we copied from my blog. So now the image from my blog is now being used here. Now we're off to Tumblr. They load it. Once again, it takes the link from my blog. So my blog's image is now on Patreon and Tumblr. After that was finished, it takes me to my blog post. At this point, I would then manually use my phone to post on social media, on Snapchat, on Facebook, on Instagram, and then go live. And then part of my going live automation goes through all these, clicks publish here, post announcement, upload, post this, post this. And in an ideal situation, I wouldn't even have to hit the automate button. And it looks like I've been recording for 34 minutes. So I'm gonna say this, I guess, took about 30 minutes or so. When I've been running it, like practicing it on my own without talking, I could get everything done within like 10-15 minutes. Before, this entire process from the beginning to end would take as long as 2 hours, and the fastest I think I've ever gotten it done is like 45 minutes. And some people might be saying, why? And that's part of the challenge. The only way I could have gotten to this point where I'm now at 15 minutes is if I never gave up. This is what's held me back from streaming a lot of times. I haven't streamed in over a month working on this automation stuff, trying to learn how to code just in general. I'm trying to learn JavaScript. This is going to be such a time saver that I'm going to be able to come back into streaming again. And I'm a stay-at-home father of 3 kids under 6 years old, and it's rough. Hope this information was helpful to you guys, and if you have any questions, you can shoot them to me in the comments or on social media. I'll try to answer what I can to the best of my ability. Like I said, I'm very new to this myself, but even as new as I am, I'm able to do all this, and hopefully that might give other people hope. If you can compartmentalize and minimize the impact that some things have, like front-end production, it makes other things easier to kind of get around to and not feel overwhelmed. Stay safe out there, be kind to each other, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.